You thought the struggle was punishment. You thought it showed up to remind you of what you didn't have, of how far you still had to go, of how alone you felt when everything and everyone seemed to walk away. But the truth is, the struggle didn't come to finish you. It came to introduce you to the strongest parts of you that you never have met in the sunshine. See, when everything is easy, you don't question your strength because you don't have to use it. You don't test your faith because nothing is shaking it. But it's when life knocks the wind out of you, when you're staring at rock bottom, when your heart is broken, your spirit is tired, and your vision is blurred. That's when the real fight shows up. That's when you find out you're stronger than your excuses, tougher than your wounds, and bigger than your fear. You didn't know you could keep moving forward after heartbreak until your heart got broken. You didn't know you could live without their support until they left. You didn't know you could create new doors until the old ones slammed shut. It's the struggle that made you discover muscles you didn't even know were there. And yeah, it hurt. Yeah, you questioned everything, but you made it. And that alone means something. Most people don't want to admit it. But it's not the smooth seasons that made them powerful. It's the seasons that stripped everything away until there was nothing left but raw spirit. The moments when quitting felt easier, but something inside wouldn't let them. That's where strength is forged. That's where the superpower is born. You've got to stop looking at your struggle like it's an interruption. The struggle is the assignment. That sleepless night, that heartbreak, that disappointment, that rejection. It wasn't random, it was required. It carved out space in you for wisdom, for compassion, for resilience. You see clearer now. You love deeper now. You know your worth now. And all of that came from what almost broke you. And maybe you're still in it. Maybe you're still waking up every day with the weight on your chest, still fighting silent battles no one knows about. But even now, the fact that you're still breathing, still trying, still refusing to surrender, that proves the strength was never in what you had. It was always in who you are. It's easy to believe you're strong when everything is going right. But real strength is believing it when everything is falling apart. Real strength is choosing to show up when nobody claps, to keep moving when nobody sees, to stay hopeful when hope itself feels heavy. And you did that. You're doing that. And that means the struggle didn't beat you, it built you. Stop waiting for someone else to see your strength before you claim it. You don't need their validation. Your scars are the proof. The nights you didn't quit are the proof. The mornings you got up anyway are the proof. The fact that you kept going when it made no sense to keep going, that's your testimony. So don't hide the struggle. Don't downplay it. Don't wish it away. It made you who you are. It revealed the fighter in you, the believer in you, the survivor in you. It showed you that even in your lowest moments, there's a part of you that can't be broken. That's the real superpower. And nobody can take that from you. You keep replaying what broke you, the betrayal, the loss, the heartbreak so deep, it felt like it stole your breath. You keep seeing it as the thing that set you back, the thing that stopped your story. But what if I told you it didn't set you back at all? What if I told you that what broke you really built you? See, everybody loves to talk about success, about victories, about the glow up. But what really shaped you wasn't the applause or the moments you stood tall. It was the moments you fell flat on your face. It was when you cried in silence. It was when you doubted yourself so deeply that hope felt like a foreign language. It was when everything you planned crumbled right in front of you and you had nothing left but raw spirit. That's what built you. You don't become unshakable when life feels safe. You don't become wise when you've never tasted failure. You don't discover your purpose while everything is going your way. The very thing that cracked you open, that left you in pieces, forced you to see the truth of who you are without the titles, without the comfort, without the people who used to clap for you. And that truth, that's priceless. It's easy to think what happened to you ruined you, but really it revealed you. It burned off the parts of you that couldn't come with you to the next level. It showed you who was real in your circle. It forced you to stop leaning on people and start leaning on purpose. It made you build faith in the dark, not because you could see the way out, but because you decided to keep walking even when you couldn't. You think the heartbreak made you weak, but look closer. It made you real. It made you love deeper. It made you value what matters, not what impresses. You think the failure made you small, but look closer. It humbled you so you could become grounded, focused, and unshakable. The cracks you hate so much are where the light got in. And don't get it twisted. I'm not saying the pain was good. I'm saying it wasn't wasted, because you could have let it harden your heart. You could have let it keep you bitter, keep you silent, keep you stuck in the past. But somehow, even through the tears, you chose to keep moving. And that choice, that's what built your character, your discipline, you learned what it feels like to get back up with nobody cheering. You learned to trust your inner voice when outside voices went quiet. You learned that rejection isn't always a closed door. It's sometimes the push you needed to build your own. You learned to stop begging to be chosen and start choosing yourself. And that lesson right there, that's power. Because now, when you step forward, you're not stepping with blind hope. You're stepping with wisdom born from wounds. You're stepping with courage born from chaos. You're stepping with strength that doesn't come from your circumstances, it comes from your spirit. So stop looking at what broke you like it's something to hide. It's something to honor. It's something to use, because the same thing that hurt you is the thing that taught you how to heal. The same thing that pushed you to your knees taught you how to rise. What broke you built you, and no matter what comes next, you already know you've survived worse. And that's why nothing can stop you now. You never really understand the power of pain until you realize what it teaches you to see. You thought pain was only about suffering, about nights you couldn't sleep and days you couldn't breathe right because the weight was too heavy. But pain isn't just something you go through. It's something that changes how you see everything around you. Pain creates perspective. And perspective is what gives your life purpose. Before the struggle, you saw life one way. You thought certain people would never leave. You thought certain plans could never fail. You thought you had control over every outcome. But pain came along and tore those illusions down. It burned away the fake friendships, the shallow goals, the need to please everybody. And what was left? A clearer vision of what really matters, who truly matters, and what you're really here to do. You started to see that not everyone clapping for you is in your corner. You started to see that your worth was never tied to your wins, and your identity wasn't built on applause. You saw that love isn't always loud, and that loyalty isn't always obvious. Pain stripped you of the need to be accepted, and in that space, it taught you how to accept yourself. And here's the thing, you can't buy that perspective. Nobody can hand it to you. It comes from heartbreak, disappointment, and failure that cuts so deep, it changes you. And once your eyes are open like that, you can't go back. back to who you were before. You don't chase validation anymore. You move with intention. You don't waste time trying to impress people. You focus on impact. You don't fear rejection like you used to, because you know now that what's meant for you can't be taken by anybody. Pain taught you patience too. It taught you that some seasons are for planting, not for picking. It taught you that growth often happens underground, unseen, uncelebrated. It taught you to trust timing you don't control and to keep showing up anyway. And it taught you that what feels like a setback might actually be setting you up for something bigger than you ever imagined. You see, it's that perspective that turns pain into purpose. Because now you don't just see your struggle as something to survive. You see it as something to serve. You realize your story isn't just yours. That someone out there is fighting a battle you've already fought. That someone out there feels lost, hopeless, broken. And your scars are the signposts that can help guide them home. And this isn't about pretending the pain didn't hurt. It hurt. It left scars, but those scars became reminders of lessons that changed the way you see everything. They remind you what real strength looks like, what real love feels like, what real purpose sounds like. And most importantly, they remind you that you're still here, not just to exist, but to use what you've seen, what you felt, and what you've learned to do something bigger. Because once pain changes your perspective, it changes how you walk through the world. You stop moving out of fear and you start moving out of purpose. You stop seeing your past as proof of weakness and you start seeing it as proof you were chosen to carry a message that only someone who's been through the fire can deliver. Pain burn away what didn't matter so you can finally see what does. And now you don't just have a story, you have vision. And with vision comes purpose. And with purpose, nothing life throws at you can keep you from rising. You keep telling yourself, nobody wants to hear your story. You keep thinking it's not big enough, not tragic enough, not polished enough to matter. You look at what you've survived and see shame, but what you don't see is that your story might be the very thing that keeps someone else alive. You think the world needs your perfection, but what it really needs is your honesty. Your struggle isn't something to hide, it's something to share. Your scars aren't proof you were weak. They're proof you fought and survived, and that survival is what somebody else is praying to see right now. You don't need to have it all figured out to help someone. You don't need to be healed to give hope. Sometimes it's the fact that you're still standing, even with the limp, that gives someone else the courage to take their next step. Sometimes it's your voice shaking when you speak your truth that makes it real for the person who feels too broken to talk about theirs. You see, pain isolates us, but stories connect us. And when you stop hiding what hurt you, you give other people permission to do the same. You think it disqualifies you to have fallen, to have failed, to have doubted yourself. But it's actually what qualifies you to speak to people in that same pit, because you know how it feels to lose faith in yourself, to question your worth, to wonder if you would ever climb back out. And because you know your words carry a weight that empty motivation never can. Your scars carry a message that no polished speech can replace. Some of you are waiting for the perfect moment to tell your story. You're waiting until you've healed completely, until you've reached the mountaintop. But what you don't realize is someone in the valley doesn't need to hear from someone who's never struggled. They need to hear from someone who's still climbing. Someone who can say, I'm not there yet, but I'm still moving. And if I can keep going, so can you. That's the power of your pain. Not just that you survived it, but that you can speak through it, that you can turn it into something that lifts others. Because you know what it feels like to be in darkness. You can become a light. Because you know the weight of silence. You can become a voice. Because you know what it feels like to fight alone. You can show someone else they don't have to. You didn't go through all that just to keep it to yourself. You didn't fight those battles just to stay quiet about the victories, even the small ones. Your story isn't just about your healing, it's about helping someone else find theirs. And it doesn't have to be dramatic or perfect. The raw, unfiltered truth is what reaches people's hearts. So let your pain speak. Let your scars be seen. Let your journey, with all its mess and mistakes and moments of doubt, become a roadmap for someone who can't see the way forward right now. Don't waste what you've been through by burying it under pride or fear. Use it, share it, because what once felt like your greatest weakness can become your greatest weapon against hopelessness in your life and in someone else's. You're not here to pretend you never fell. You're here to show what rising really looks like. And when you do that, when you stop hiding and start helping, your pain finally becomes purpose.